Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a vlog where I'm going to be reading the new Jennifer Hillier and Riley Sager books. And you guys know Jennifer Hillier and Riley Sager are like two of my favorite thriller authors ever. So I'm super excited to be filming this video. I asked you guys on Instagram if you want to see a vlog with me reading these two books, and an overwhelming amount of you said yes. So this vlog, I'm not going to be filming much like b-roll or anything extra. It's literally just going to be me reading these books and reacting to them and explaining how I feel about them. So without further ado, just keep watching. Good morning! So I started Jennifer Hillier's book, Things We Do in the Dark. I think I got to page like 40. Yeah, page 40. So we are following this woman named Paris. It's not Paris Hilton, unfortunately, but her husband was this like well-known famous comedian. And basically she finds him dead in the bathtub, you know, blood everywhere. She goes into the bathroom and for some reason his like straight razor was there, because I think someone killed him with the straight razor, but they're not sure yet. So she is holding the straight razor covered in his blood, and the police come and arrest her for murdering her husband, and she's like, no, I didn't murder him. She was just in shock. So now we're just kind of following her and her story. She is currently in a holding cell in jail, and you know, she's trying to get her lawyer and etc. before this court hearing. So that's kind of what's going on so far. Nothing super exciting yet, because it's just the start of the book. So I'm intrigued to find out, like, was he murdered? Who did it? And then there's also, from the synopsis, there's supposed to be, it says 25 years earlier, Ruby Reyes, known as the Ice Queen, was convicted of similar murders. So I'm like, okay, was it this woman in the past? I don't know. We're gonna find out, and I'm so excited to let you know how I'm liking it. So far so good. Okay, so it's the next day. I only got to page 124. So basically, I mean, I'm liking it so far. Not that much is happening. It's kind of a slow burn. Basically, there was a twist that happened on page 60. And then it started part 2 of the book. And then it switched POVs. So we've been following the POV of this man named Drew, who runs a podcast called Things We Do in the Dark, which is the name of the book. So he runs this podcast. We're not actually getting like podcast episodes. We're just getting him like researching. So we are slowly figuring out who this Ruby Reyes chick is. And, you know, Drew has a connection and Paris has a connection, and we are slowly learning about Ruby and her family, and we're slowly starting to figure out how people are connected with each other, but there's still like a mystery going on. I can't say too much without giving it away. That's like what it's about. So we're basically figuring out the mystery of all these people's pasts and how they are connected right now. Like I said, it's a little bit of a slow burn, so like we haven't figured out too much yet, but yeah, I'm really hoping that this wows me. I feel like if it's Jennifer Hillier, I feel like the second half is going to be like boom, 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 boom with like twists, you know, which I'm hoping that's the case. I've heard really good reviews. Everyone's giving it 5 stars on Goodreads. So I'm excited to keep reading. I'm liking it so far. But okay, good morning. If I look weird, I put self-tanner on last night. I have to wash it off. So if I look like splotchy and like different colors, that's why, because I have to wash off the color guard or whatever it's called. But anyways, I got to page 195. I think I have 150 pages left. It's taking me forever to read this book, simply because I just haven't had time during the day with working and packing and stuff. I just don't have time. But I am liking it. I am on part 3 of the book now. So like the 170 page mark, there was a big plot twist, and now it entered part 3. So that's what I'm on. So like I was saying, part 2 was from the perspective of someone else, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of like a Lisa Jewell book, which sounds weird. Like just the way that, you know how like if you've read Lisa Jewell before, it's like you kind of get the story from different perspectives and different timelines. So it kind of gets a little bit confusing sometimes. I mean, not really, but you kind of jump from like, okay, this is what happened then, and this is what happened now, and this is what happened at this timeline, and this is what happens now, and then you're jumping all over the place, and then things slowly start piecing together. Like the puzzle slowly starts getting put together, and you slowly start figuring out who these people are and whose perspective you're reading from and how they are linked to the main character, and they're all linked in a way, but you just have to figure it out. And there was this big plot twist on, it was around page 170, something like that, and I was reading it last night and I was like mind blown. I was like, wait, what? I actually like went back and reread a few things because it doesn't fully make sense to me, and it still doesn't fully make sense. I mean, it's definitely entertaining and it's definitely like shocking, but when I'm thinking about it logically, I'm like, wait, what? Like how did this happen? So I was telling my boyfriend last night the whole thing, and he was like, yeah, that makes no sense. He was like, that book makes absolutely no sense. And I have so many questions, and I'm hoping that they're not plot holes. Like I'm hoping that it is explained in a way where I'm like, okay, I can see that, because as of right now, I'm like, this is totally unrealistic. So we'll see. We're slowly starting to get it explained a little bit better, so I'm hoping that things are wrapped up nicely and there's not like random questions that I have, because I just have so many questions and I need them answered. I cannot find a decent place to vlog right now because everything is just a disaster, and the lighting is a disaster, and this refrigerator in the background makes this like constant humming noise. Like I am so excited to get out of this apartment because everything is just like broken and a mess at all times. Anyways, I finished Things We Do in the Dark. I am going to talk to you while I put my makeup on. Stop slamming the door. So anyways, it wasn't like that twisty of a thriller. Like there were a couple twists, and some of them were like really predictable, if I'm being completely honest. Like you could probably guess the main twists if you read a lot of thrillers, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like that crazy, that like mind-blowing, but I will say it was very, very well done. Like Jennifer Hillier's writing is just so well done, so well written. Oh no, this is the wrong shade. I just put the wrong makeup on. Oh, this is like a really cute look, huh? Yeah, Jennifer Hillier's writing is just so well done, and she's just such a great storyteller. And I would say, honestly, like it was a slow burn. It was pretty slow paced. And it was kind of more of a family drama, I would say. It was like part thriller, part like family drama, almost like, you know, how Karen Slaughter writes, and, you know, her books are obviously thrillers, but there's like this huge like character development component to her stories that become more of like a thriller slash drama. Is that making, like, am I making any sense right now? I hope that makes sense. But yeah, like a lot of this book was family drama, character development, which I don't mind. You guys know I don't really like a slow burn, but if it's like developing the storyline and developing the characters, like, it's not that big of a deal to me. I just hate when it's boring, and this book was not boring. The characters were just really well developed and really fleshed out, and all of these characters in here were flawed. You know, they all had trauma, they all had mental health issues, and it really brought life to the characters. Like, they felt real. Trying to talk and do my makeup at the same time is like stressful. How do beauty gurus do this? Oh my gosh, you have to have some skill. I'm like not that great at multitasking apparently. Anyways, like I was saying, everything was just really well done and a really well done story. I really liked the elements of, you know, going back and forth and slowly piecing together the smaller pieces of this larger picture, and the alternating timelines and the alternating POVs. And I really just loved the main character and, you know, how flawed, and we got to learn her trauma throughout her life. And it was just really, you know, I guess relatable in a sense to read about such a flawed character with so many issues and mental health issues and trauma. But as far as like the thriller aspects, I did see a lot of it coming. Like, it wasn't anything super shocking to me. So I feel like I'm gonna go with a 4-star. But then the more that I think about it, the more that I really liked it. I don't know. Maybe even like a 4.5. Is that pushing it? Is that too forgiving, or is it well deserved? Yeah, I am pleasantly surprised because the thrillers that have come out in 2022 have been shit, as we all know, and I don't think I've liked any of them so far. Until this one. Like, this one I really like. I think I do appreciate a slow burn if it's done well. You know what I'm saying? This might be my second favorite Jennifer Hillier book. My all-time favorite Jennifer Hillier is Jar of Hearts. I gave that one 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. And then I would say this one would be second. And then what were the other ones that I really liked? I think Creep, Wonderland, and what was that other one? Creep, Wonderland, and I can't think of the name of it. Little Secrets. I gave all of those 4 stars. I think Freak I gave like a 3.5. That was the sequel to Creep. And then The Butcher I gave like 2 stars, I think. I did not like that book. I know it has a lot of hype. A lot of people really seem to love it, but it was just, I don't know. I didn't like, it was like a reverse whodunit. So we already knew who did everything in the beginning. And I just didn't like that so much. I didn't vibe with it. I just love Jennifer Hillier, okay? I'm like a little Jennifer Hillier stan. I love her so much. And I'm just happy that she didn't disappoint me because everyone else is disappointed. Okay, so I just got home from my 8-9 hour trip. I went to go see my specialist today in DC, which is like 4-ish hours away plus traffic. So we went there to my appointment, came home. So we literally left at 4:45 in the morning and just got back around 3 o'clock. It's been a long day, but look what was on my porch. The new Riley Sager. I'm so excited that the Scream isn't even coming out. So you guys don't even understand how hard I've been thirsting for this man, okay? Riley Sager is the only man that I've ever chased. I sent out so many thirst emails begging his publisher for an ARC. Not even like a physical ARC, a digital ebook. Begging them. Neck Alley begging them. The publisher begging them. Like, they probably thought I am just the thirstiest bitch. They were like, this thirsty ass bitch. So yeah, while everyone else was getting ARCs gifted to them, I mean rightfully so because they're better than I am just a peasant that has to wait for it on release day, apparently. So I am so excited to dive into this. I'm going to go shower, eat dinner, and curl up and start reading this. I am so excited. I'm dropping everything. I'm in the middle of 2 books right now. They can wait, okay? They can wait. Oh man. I got to page 69 last night. Let me tell you about this book before I jump into why I'm laughing. So, okay, we're following this woman, Casey. She is an ex-actress and she's living in this lake house, and the house across the lake is this like former model's lake house, and her husband's like the CEO of this social media app. One day while Casey, our main character, is on the lake, she finds a woman drowning in the lake and rescues her, and turns out it's the model that lives across the lake. So she becomes obsessed with this woman, and of course she is an alcoholic after her husband passed away, and she's just drinking booze all the time with her binoculars and watching the neighbors. It's very much that type of situation. That's as far as I've gotten so far. I know the wife goes missing or whatever eventually, and that's all I know. That's probably all that I'm gonna tell you because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But like I said, I'm on page 69 and nothing is happening. This is so boring. I literally fell asleep last night on page like 42 or something because I was bored, and I was like, wow, this is the cure to my insomnia. And from what I'm hearing, it doesn't get any better, but I'm gonna try. Like, I'm willing to, you know, try and hope that it gets better for me personally. But oh boy. First of all, take a shot every time she mentions the word bourbon. I can tell you how many times exactly. 68. 68 times in this book the word bourbon was used. I'd be dead. We'd all be dead. This fucking play. She was in this play and she keeps mentioning the play. Like, the play, I was in this play, Shred of Doubt. Take a shot every time she mentions Shred of Doubt because I can't anymore. It's just constant. Like, okay, she gets bourbon. She's drinking the bourbon. She gets her binoculars. She's looking through the binoculars. She sees things happening. Nothing, aka nothing. She talks about drinking for another 10 pages. Then the neighbors come over with wine. Then they're all drinking wine. Then she talks about her play. It's like non-stop drinking and talking about this fucking play. I can't anymore. I'm fully convinced that this is not the same author that wrote Home Before Dark and Lock Every Door, which are my favorite Riley Sager books. This is not the same author. Like, I'm hoping that it gets better for me. So far, it's been just putting me to sleep. That's why I'm like second guessing myself. I'm like, okay, was that Jennifer Hillier book that good, or was I just like really easily impressed because every other book that I've read this year, thriller wise, has been shit. So I'm like, was that book even that good? No, probably not, but I was just like so impressed with the writing after reading such terrible shit this year. Okay, I wasn't gonna give an update so soon because I'm only on page 100, but I just came to the realization I know exactly where this is going, and this is very similar to a book that I gave 1 star earlier this year. Yeah. So, you know, going into this, I knew there was going to be a speculative element because people have been talking about it. And I was like, okay, sometimes that doesn't work for me. Sometimes it does. Like, it's fine. Now I keep seeing like all my friends giving this 1 star, 2 stars. You know, some really nice friends of mine have given it 3 stars because they wanted to be nice, and I get it. Now I'm like, oh shit, like what is about to happen in this book? I don't know. I don't let other people's opinions and like reviews sway me, but I'm like seeing all these bad things online, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna keep reading and it's fine. This is the exact same thing that happened in a book that I absolutely despise. And if you are an avid watcher of my channel, if you like know the books that I like and the books that I've been on rampages about earlier this year, then you might know. You might be able to guess because I ranted about that book in like 2 videos of mine. And it is not Dead Inside by Chandler Morrison. Although I feel like if she started eating a toilet baby, this might be more enjoyable because it's very boring so far, honestly. If I'm being honest, it's like, okay, this woman's drinking bourbon. She's looking out the windows with her binocular. The neighbors are this seemingly perfect couple, but they might have some secrets. Everybody's drunk. They're all pretty people on a lake drinking, and she's discovering the secrets of her neighbors. And it's just very, very cliche, like very typical thriller cliche, like nothing new. And he's trying so hard to portray this woman as a drunk. Like, how many times do I have to be reminded that she's drinking bourbon? It's just very boring, and I know exactly where it's gonna go, and I hope that I'm proven wrong. I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling, and I don't like it. If that's where it's gonna go, I do not like this, but I'm hoping maybe it'll like throw me off guard and I'll end up liking it, but I don't, sadly, I don't have high hopes for this one. Okay, good morning. I look like shit. So I was just reading a bunch. I got to page 239 and everyone keeps telling me I'm like super, super close to this twist that everyone is mad about. So I don't really have much of an update. I mean, honestly, it got a little bit better for me. Like, it's not totally unbearable. It's not that bad so far. I kind of started getting into it. It is boring though. Like, not a whole lot is happening. Like, things are starting to happen now, but it's like typical thriller things that you kind of expect. We have this female, drunk, unreliable narrator with mental health issues. I mean, typical Riley Sager. I see like he's starting to build up this twist. It's like, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's this, maybe it's this person, maybe it's that person. And I just know something fucking stupid is about to happen. I'm hoping it's not stupid to me, but I just know it's gonna be something fucking ridiculous because now it's like being built up, and like every chapter it's like, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's none of these things. And I'm nervous, but I start work soon, so I have to like, well, I don't really have to do anything. I have to take my vitamins and brush my teeth. I am so pissed off right now. Fuck this book. Fuck this book, okay? I'm gonna tell you just like a little bit, And then I'm actually gonna put in a spoiler section at the end of this video because I cannot rant about this unless I talk about spoilers. Last time I checked in, I think I was like, oh, it's okay. It's maybe like a 3-star. And then the big twist happened and I was not a fan of it. Sorry, there's like a hair here. Yeah, I was not a fan. And then it just kept getting worse from there because I was like, okay, this is already like a really bad twist. Like, and the problem was that the twist was revealed around like, I don't know, 250 pages or whatever. And the rest of the book, the other 100 pages kept going on and on and on and on and rolling with this twist that actually made no fucking sense, which I'm going to get into in the spoilers. And it pissed me off so much. I actually skimmed the last like 50 pages of this book because it was so bad, so poorly done that I just could not continue reading. And it's like all these terrible, crazy things happen and then it just ends and everything's wonderful and happy. Like, I am so mad, you guys. I'm just shocked. I am shocked right now that people like this book. You know what? Survive the Night wasn't a masterpiece, obviously, but I liked it. It was at least entertaining. It was at least readable. This is like, what the actual fuck is this? I'm selling this book, by the way. I'm getting rid of it because what the fuck was this? I just can't. So I am going to give you a couple seconds to click out of this video if you don't want to hear spoilers. The rest of the video is going to be a spoilery section. So I'm going to give you a couple seconds to click away if you want to read this book. So that way you are not spoiled. But if you already read it or you don't give a fuck and you're just here for a rant page, then just keep watching. And if you are clicking away, then goodbye. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Let's get into the spoilers, okay? This book, I knew exactly where this was going because someone was saying speculative elements and I was reading this and they started talking about the lake and souls and how there's a myth about the lake containing souls and whatever. And I was like, you know what? I bet one of these people are dead. I bet this is a Layla by Colleen Hoover situation, which if you know, you know, okay? I have been on a rampage about how much I fucking despise Layla by Colleen Hoover on this channel. I think in like 2 videos I went on a rampage about it. And I can't say that. Like, I can't tell people that without spoiling the entire book because it's the exact same book as Layla. Like, I'm not even kidding you. The exact same fucking plot twist. So let me break it down. So I was like, I bet this is a Layla by Colleen Hoover situation. I was messaging McKay and Elizabeth and I was like, I bet you this is Layla. And they were both like, okay, like, we're not gonna tell you, right? Because they didn't want to spoil it. They finished it in like a day. And I messaged them after the fact and I was like, okay, I was like pretty spot on with that. I don't know how, but I don't even know how I figured that, but I did. And basically, Layla by Colleen Hoover, it's like this man is in love with this woman who is actually like his ex-girlfriend's soul is like possessing her body and he's like fucking a ghost. This woman is a ghost. It's like this whole thing, right? So in this book, we basically find out, so there were some twists that I enjoyed. Like, we find out her husband was the serial killer. We find out, like, there were some twists that threw me off that I enjoyed. And I was like, okay, like, I'm into this. That's why at one point I was like, I'm into this book. And, yeah, no. So we find out later that this woman that she's obsessed with across the lake is, actually her dead husband. Because the fucking lake, these souls enter the lake and then they can possess people's bodies. It's like this magical fucking lake. It's like Jason from Friday the 13th jumping out of the lake. It's like souls are alive in this lake. So anyways, she drowns her husband after finding out that he's a serial killer, and his soul is alive in the lake. And so when Catherine was drowning in the lake, he possessed her body and he became Catherine. So then her husband had her tied up, and it was just this whole fucking thing. And so I'm like, okay, that pissed me off because I don't like paranormal shit in my thrillers. That doesn't make sense. And that's why the last time I lied, I wasn't a huge fan of that book, because it had paranormal elements that didn't make sense to me. And everyone was like, this is amazing. And I was like, it was good until the paranormal aspects kicked in. I don't like it in my thrillers. If I'm going into something knowing that it has paranormal aspects, that it is like a paranormal thriller or horror, I like it. But not when it's like the twist is paranormal, if that makes sense. So already I was like, this is bullshit. Like, I absolutely fucking hate this. And then the problem was the next 100 pages, it just kept going on and on and on and on. And then it's like to the point where it doesn't even make sense anymore, because then he keeps trying to throw twists in there. And I'm like, okay, there's already like all this stuff going on that doesn't make sense, that's not well developed. And then we have her trying to you know, kill her husband's soul by drowning herself, because now he possessed her and now she's trying to drown herself in the lake where we already know his soul is staying alive in the lake. So she tries to drown herself, and then the cops come, and then we find out that her husband's soul is inside of Tom, the husband, and then she kills Tom, and then it was just on and on and on. And then it's like, she doesn't go to jail for murdering someone. In the end, it's just like, okay, we're all happy and everything's wonderful. Does anyone want some pancakes? It was like, what the actual fuck? Like, I am so mad because I like Riley Sager. And this was just like the fucking last straw for me. Anyways. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I mean, I like Jennifer Hillier still. That's a plus, right? 2022 thrillers. I still like someone. So yeah, if you're going to read any of these two books, please make it Jennifer Hillier. We love her, okay? And I guess I'll see you in my next video. Bye!